Hello? Okay, I guess I'm doing the broadcast now. It says I'm live. I have never done one of these before, so this is going to be interesting. I'm apologizing ahead of time. I don't even know if there's anybody watching. Is there anybody there? Let me turn on my little Q&A feature. Do we have any viewers? Any viewers? I don't think there's anybody there. All right, tell you what. I'm just going to play around with the effects. Control room. Yeah. Let's see how many ridiculous things I can put on myself. I got a Ron Swanson. Or I could. I'm actually really impressed by this, I gotta say. Yeah. So you can't have both of those. You can have those two. You can have those two. You can't have that and a mustache. You have to have only a mustache. So how about I keep the mustache, wear some glasses. So totally, this is a look for me right here. What else can I put on myself? Oh, this means I'm confused? Maybe I'm an angel? I'm a hipster angel that's in love with the devil on a rocket ship. No, I'm a slee stack. Sweet. I'm a puppy. I'm a hipster puppy slee stack devil with a college degree. I'm a hipster dog with a college degree. That's what we're looking at right now. That's what I am. This is what Google has turned me into. Maybe I should cut back on some of these. How about I'm not a dog, I'm not a graduate, just a hipster doing a hangout with apparently nobody. I'm not sure if there's anybody there. Let's try this. If there's anybody out there that wants to hang out and chat, come talk to me. Exactly. I could use some of these sound effects for my show. What backgrounds could I be? Not so much. So there's a prop of a birthday cake that, like, I'm just holding it. It's holding a birthday cake. I don't know. Do I have any viewers out there? I don't know if there's anybody there or not. I'm gonna get rid of these. Although the mustache is quite hip. Get rid of the mustache. All right. I am running a hangout for the first time ever, and if I don't know what I'm doing here, I sincerely apologize. But it's mostly because I don't know what I'm doing here. So I don't know if there's anybody out there that I'm talking to or not. Click the select button to request a question. Why am I craving for chips? Oh, Kareem? Is Kareem there? I am Mr. Pringles. Oh, you're referring to the glasses that I had on. These are very interesting little effects that they have on here. Kind of like it. I decided to be a hipster. Okay, I'll be Mr. Pringle. How's that? I am Mr. Pringles. Actually, no, this would be Mr. Pringles. Hang on. Where'd it go? Monocle. There we go. Now we're rocking it old school. All right, I'm gonna take this off of me. It's just too silly not to do. All right. Answer questions by selecting one from the list. Why am I craving for chips? Because I'm Mr. Pringles. I was Mr. Pringles earlier. Well, I don't know if there's anybody watching, but if there is, I just wanted to do this simply because I reached 500 subscribers, and it's kind of an amazing thing that's been happening, and I don't know exactly what has happened. All I know is that a couple of months ago, it was a really big deal that I hit 200, and I still owe somebody who was my 200th subscriber. I told her I would do a video for her. I still need to do that, and here I am now at 520. I think I hit 520 today. And Kareem says, ah! It works. I don't know how slow this thing is happening, but something works apparently. But no, this isn't just because, ooh, I got big high numbers and subscribers and stuff like that, although that is exciting. The real reason why I wanted to do something like this and get to know people who are on here was that I wanted to say hello to people on a one-to-one basis. I've been really nervous about this all day long because all the videos that I do are always edited and scripted to within an inch of its life, and here I'm just live talking and using a program that I've never used before. So all this is brand new, and I'm very feeling weird. But no, the thing that excites me the most about the number of subscribers I've been getting, which is really cool, isn't just that there's a high number, but because people are starting to talk in the comments, and I'm getting conversations. And it used to be if I got a comment on a video, I was like, oh my God, this is cool, And now sometimes I'll post a video and then my phone will just be blowing up, as they say, because it's not that they're talking to me, it's that people are talking to each other in the comments of the video. And to me, that's just like, oh, that's so cool. Here, like people that are, I'm reading Kareem's comments. Is it just you, Kareem? I think it's just you. It says one viewer. And I'm getting comments from Kareem. This might as well be a video call. Is my face as red as it looks on the thing? I think it's the lighting. I blame the lighting. I'm only a filmmaker. What do I know about lighting? Yeah. Anyway. I'm going to get rid of some of your things here. Delete question. Keep up with me. Record like nobody is watching. I think I am doing exactly that. That's the definition of what I'm doing right now. Except for you. Except for Kareem. Kareem matters. See, I never done people's faces would be down there, and I could like select them, and if it was like a Skype call kind of thing, or if it was like people asking questions and then I was responding to them. I really didn't know what to expect, but I guess it's people asking me questions. So if you have questions, you can ask me, and I'll. You're digging it? All right, cool. I'm glad. I'm glad. Actually, it says three viewers now. So if I've got new people, hello, thanks for coming. Let me take a sip of water here. You are watching the most unprofessional hangout that's ever been hung out in the history of outing hanging, or something, whatever that means. But no, where I was going a second ago was that I'm just really excited that I'm getting feedback from people, and I'm getting comments from people, and I'm starting to kind of see how the whole community thing works. As I've gone around to a lot of these YouTuber type things, I've been hearing a lot about community. And I was always very confused by that, because actually I went to one, if Kareem you're watching, I went to one at Fort Worth a while back that VidPal put on. And the lady that spoke, her name was, she goes by Carrie Lewis, but her actual name is like Lucia Patricio or something like that. Very Italian, so she went with something much more Anglo, I guess. But anyway, so she talked a lot about community. You need to, find your community and join communities and stuff. And I was like, where are these communities? What are you talking about? Because, it's not like on Facebook where you can just go join a group or something and then, hey, you're in the community. It doesn't work like that on Google or on YouTube. So I went up to her afterwards and I got to talk to her, and I was like, so where do you find these communities? And she just gave me this blank look, like, what are you talking about? It's, because it's just something that she very clearly does all the time, but it's something that was brand new to me. And I was like, so where do you find these communities? And she was like, well, you just start commenting on people's stuff. And I was like, okay, but I do that all the time. Basically what I realized, what I'm getting to here, was that a lot of the stuff that I watch are very well-established large YouTube channels like the Young Turks, Vsauce, the Vlog Brothers, those kinds of guys, where they've got millions of subscribers, and I might leave a message and somebody else might comment back or something, but there's no back and forth there. But what started to happen recently was, I'm getting more subscribers, and that's cool. But then some of the subscribers that I've gotten have channels of their own, and they've got 500 or 1,000 subscribers, and so they're kind of in the same boat I am. And I've been going on their channels and commenting on there, and then they've commented on mine. It's been back and forth, and then other people that follow them would see what I posted, and then they'd follow me, and so I'm starting to see more of that kind of thing. And between that and just the people that are subscribed to me talking to each other in the comments, I'm starting to see like, oh, this is the community thing that they're talking about. And it's just been a fascinating learning process, just kind of figuring out how all that works. So now I feel like I'm getting a little bit of a community around the stuff that I'm doing on here, and it's really exciting. The big question is, where do I go from there? Like, I've got some people following me, so what happens? And I don't think that's really up for me to decide, to be honest, especially if I have a channel like this where I answer people's questions. It's kind of up to them to kind of guide the conversation. Actually, I guess I would guide the conversation, but it's up to my viewers and my subscribers to engage in it. And so that's kind of why I wanted to do a hangout like this, was to kind of get in front of people one-on-one and say, what kind of stuff are you liking? What would you like to see more of? That kind of thing. I don't usually get very political, and I think about going political sometimes because I definitely have my political views. And so I've heard that that's a good way to actually build build a viewership, or to build a what am I looking for? A cohesive community. I keep using that word, but by kind of creating not an enemy, but having everybody on one side and kind of going against something. But I don't want to be divisive, and I don't want to leave anybody out. I usually tend to go towards more of if I were to be against anything, it wouldn't be any specific political view or anything like that. It would really be more, or ideology. It would be more just against fundamentalism. And I don't mean that in a religious sense, but just like people who have a fundamentalist way of looking at the world, that like, I think it's this way and therefore it must be this way, and I'm not going to look outside of that. That's, I think, one of the biggest poisons and cancers in the world right now. We need to be able to step outside of our own viewpoint and consider that we could be wrong, because we don't know everything. And the more I get into things like quantum physics and the nature of reality and all that kind of stuff, the more I'm convinced that we just have no clue really what's going on anyway. It's just everything that we witness and we do is just our own perception that's created in our minds. And, I mean, one of the things I love to talk about is how, I feel like I'm rambling, but I guess that's the point of all this, right? Something I love to tell people and to talk about is that, when light enters your eyeball, it actually gets flipped upside down. What you're seeing in the back of your retina is actually the image flipped upside down, but your brain flips it back right side up. So, I mean, everything that you see is actually completely upside down from what is actually being projected into your eyeball. Like, your brain does that. And that's the basic everyday, event of looking at stuff. So how can you say that you know anything? How can you say that your perception of anything is the right one when literally what's being projected on the back of our eye is completely upside down from what we're actually seeing? So it's that kind of stuff that I always go back to. It's like, we can't think that we know the answers to everything. Even though I call my show Answers with Joe, I usually tend to lean on the side of, look, there really aren't any answers. There's a whole bunch of different ways of looking at things, and we need to be open to it. And we need to not be always thinking that we know everything there is to know, because we don't. So the fundamentalism, if I had an enemy in this show, it would be fundamentalism. This fundamentalist thinking, learning to detach your sense of self from your ego, learning that your thoughts aren't you, that your thoughts are merely just ideas that you could put in a bag and switch out whenever you want. They're not the end all be all. It's just ideas that you can use however you want, but you're not a slave to your ideas. You control how you go about in the world. Anyway, I have now talked about my philosophy on life and all that. If anybody has any questions, please drop them in there and I will answer them. If you want to know more about me, I would love to know more about you guys. It looks like there's a few people on there now. Can everybody write questions or write in the little question thing? I really don't know how this works very well, but I'd be curious to know where everybody's from. That's one of the things that always fascinates me is I've got people, commenting and stuff, and I don't know where they're commenting from. So if you have a way of writing where you're from, I'd love to know. Let's see, what's next happening over here? I'm going to a thing called VidCon this week. Anybody who's familiar with the Green brothers, John and Hank Green, they put on VidCon. It's a bit of a YouTuber conference. And it starts Thursday, but I'm flying out on Wednesday. It's in Anaheim. And hopefully I'll shoot some stuff from there. I have a few ideas of stuff that I could do. And maybe I'll even get some other YouTubers involved and have some fun. Maybe I'll get to introduce everybody on my channel to some people that they might not have seen before. But I'm excited. I'm a little anxious because it's going to be a networking kind of thing, and I'm not the best networker in the world. I get a little socially anxious about stuff like that. But it's going to be a lot of fun. It was also a present for my sister. My sister's been wanting to go to VidCon for a few years now, and I got her this for a Christmas present. And so that's what we're doing together. Taking a little trip, and we're getting out of the 100-degree heat. For those of you who don't know, I live in Dallas. It has been literally like Kareem is visiting via Vulcan. You are such a nerd. But I love it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting out of this heat. Even though I was just in San Francisco a few weeks ago, I really enjoyed San Francisco and their weather. Although, you know what blew my mind? I didn't know this, because I always think San Francisco is nice and cool and everything, and it was in the area that where I was. But we were watching the news that night, and they had the weather report for the next day on there, and it was like in San Francisco, like the Bay Area itself, it was 80, 85, something like that. But like 20 miles away, kind of inland and maybe northeast a little bit, it was like 105. And I was like, that's got to be a mistake. You got to be kidding me. And I was talking to somebody there, and they were like, yeah, there's just something about the bay that it creates really nice weather right there. But when you travel outside of that area, it actually gets really hot. I had no idea. That blew my mind. Dallas and Texas and its weather is nutty and everything, but I don't know. I thought that might have been even more crazy than here, because here it's, hot all the way across the board. There's no escaping it, which kind of sucks too. I'm rambling a little bit, but my wife's best friend lives in, or one of her best friends lives in Las Vegas, and she got married, and we went out there for the wedding, and she got married on this mountain called Mount Charleston, Uh-oh, we got a cat trying to get into the act over here. You want to meet Sabine? Hey, Sabine. Come here, Sabine. Hey, Sabine. She's a bitch. Anyway, this friend of ours, she got married in Mount Charleston, which is about 50 miles, something like that, outside of Las Vegas. And there was snow on the ground. And it was nice and cool, and like you had to put a jacket on. And I was thinking how cool that was that they had a place, even though Las Vegas is known for being really, I got to plug in my computer really quickly. Las Vegas is known for being so hot. They had a place they could go where they could, cool off. And that's one thing that sucks about Dallas. There's just no escape from it around here. It's always hot. There's no getting out of it. Oh, there she goes. Want to meet my dog? I got a dog. Hey, Jake, come here, buddy. Hey, hop up. Hop up. You can do it. There you go. This is my buddy. This is Jake. Say hello to internet. Say hello to internet, Jake. The internet is watching. You don't know how computers work. So Jake was a rescue. He's part pit. We don't know what the other part is, but he's the biggest baby you ever met in your life. I call him the pitiful pit bull is what I call him. I'll go to the bathroom, and in the 30 seconds it takes me to pee, he'll sit there and like whine at the door. You just whine all the time. Nothing's ever good enough. Yeah, I talk like that to my dog. What? Anyway, Jake is a real cutie. Everybody loves him, and I highly recommend pit bulls. They're not nearly as mean as everybody thinks they are. Although I think that stigma is starting to go away. People are starting to realize that it's just how they're raised. If they're raised to fight other dogs, they're going to fight other dogs. But Jake's a good guy. He stinks a little bit, but he's a good guy. Okay. All right, you're hogging the show now. Oh, see, now he's not going to go away. Let's see, what else can I talk about? Now I got a dog in the way here. Let's see, what else? Does anybody use Meerkat or Periscope? Because I'm on both of them, and I've been thinking about doing some broadcasts from there. I just don't know anybody that's on there. I've done a few of them, and they were pretty much as rambly and weird as this one, and I think the dog made an appearance in that one as well. But what I've been thinking about doing is, again, just kind of fostering a conversation around some of these things, these topics that I bring up, or that, I answer, would be, like I do the video on Mondays and I launch it, and then maybe like Monday nights or maybe Tuesdays or, at some predetermined time, I would do maybe even one of these, but a Periscope broadcast or Meerkat or a hangout or something like that, and basically, open up the discussion and just be like, so if you saw the video, let's all talk about it. I think that'd be kind of a fun thing to do. I don't know how many people would be interested. That was something I was going to ask about on this thing. So if you are interested and you like the idea, you could comment on there, or you could put something in a comment for a video, and I can start doing it. I think that could be a lot of fun. I want to open up the conversation, not just be, me, some random guy saying what he thinks, because I see other YouTube channels where people are like, hey, this is just me and this is my life. And I'm kind of like, okay, that's good for you. You're a person. Way to be a person. I want mine to be a little bit more involved in that, and maybe offer a unique perspective, just a new and interesting way to think about something, and go from there, and spread the interestingness. That's been my new word, my new little catchword, whatever, catchphrase. If anybody wants to know more about me and what I do and where I come from, just really quickly, I'll give you a little, if you're watching and you want to know. All right. So I grew up in a really small town in Texas. It was called Olney, Texas. It was just south of Wichita Falls, if anybody knows where that is. I graduated in a class of 48, which is really small. I didn't think it was small at the time. It was perfectly normal to me. But Growing up, I played a lot of music. I played several different instruments, but I also was really into filmmaking and screenwriting and stuff. I gravitated more towards screenwriting because that was something I could do. I didn't really have any resources to shoot videos or anything like that. My dad had a video camera, but I didn't have any way of editing anything. So anyway, I gravitated toward music and screenwriting. I wrote my first feature screenplay when I was 15 years old, and it was terrible, but still kind of a big deal. And then as I got off to college, I kind of became known as the writer. So people would bring screenplays to me, and I would help them, you know, rework them, or they would have an idea, and I would write it for them. And from there, I just kind of got involved in a few different productions. I wound up actually graduating from college. I went to University of North Texas mostly because they have a ridiculously good music department, and I was still interested in music. I took a couple of classes there and realized I just was not I was not good enough to keep up in their music program, so I was flipped over to film. No regrets. It was great. But film is a very difficult career to get into, so I had a backup, which was advertising. And right out of college, I actually got really lucky, and I got a full-time copywriting job at an ad agency. And I got really spoiled. I don't know how I wound up in literally a corner office in my first job out of college, but I wound up in a corner office, and I have not had an office since. It's just been cubicles ever since then. But worked that job for a few years. Economy went downhill, and then that job went away. And then I just kind of worked some freelance stuff. I did commercial production, commercial editing, and then the dog's digging through the trash. That's not good. And when I had that downtime, I took the advantage of having the extra time, and I made a feature film. I made a movie called Oceanfront Property that you can find on Amazon. And it was basically, there was some people I knew that had a beach house in Galveston that I had access to, or they told me I had access to. So I said, all right, I'll write something around that. Smartest decision I've ever made. If anybody out there is wanting to make a film, and I know Kareem's there, and you know all about this, but Kareem's a filmmaker. I don't know if you guys can see each other, but Kareem is a great filmmaker, and he's got a movie called 01 that's on YouTube. Highly recommended. Go see it. But if you want to make a movie, the best thing you can do is find a location and write to that location, because that's what I did. I had this house, and it was on a beach, and I was like, hey, beach house, that's pretty, I'll do that. So I literally sat down and wrote a script around this beach house. And I couldn't afford to pay anybody, but I told people, hey, you could spend 3 weeks at a beach house for free if you just come help me shoot a movie. And that was my pitch, and some people bought it. And I say bought it like I tricked them or something. But they came out, and everybody, you know, we all took rooms, and whenever we needed to shoot something in that room, we just moved everything out, and then we shot all the scenes in that room, and then we moved the stuff back in, and just went through the house that way, and we shot all the stuff on the beach. We actually had 2 hurricanes blow through while we were shooting. That's not a joke. Neither one of them really caused any damage or anything, but it actually wound up being a good thing, if you can imagine it, because, like I said, they both kind of veered off at the last second. It didn't destroy all our equipment or anything, but what it did was it created storm surges, and the water washed all the way up to the edge of the berm, I guess is that what it's called? So anyway, the point being, the beach was perfectly pristine while we were shooting, which is not something you normally get in Galveston. It's usually covered with seaweed and jellyfish and grossness, and you know, usually there's footsteps and it's all messed up. We had this perfectly pristine beach while we were shooting because of these 2 hurricanes that blew through. So it was a really lucky thing that happened. Although there were a couple of days where we were supposed to shoot on the beach, and the storm surge had the water going all the way up, and we went out to shoot, and there was no beach. Small problem. But the film came out pretty well, and we played at, I think, 25 different festivals, won about a dozen awards, and that got me some screenwriting work. That was about 10 years ago, actually. On my 30th birthday, I was at this is a true story. I was at a film festival in Tiburon Film Festival, which is, I mentioned San Francisco earlier. It's at the other side of the bay from San Francisco. So you drive across the Golden Gate Bridge, and then it kind of loops back around. It's in the Marin Highlands is what it's called. And so I was there for the Tiburon Film Festival, and there was a guy. I actually did a video about this way back when. You can find it on my YouTube channel, very long time ago. But there was a guy there from England. I forget his name. Devon? Something like that. I forgot his name. Anyway, but this guy from England was talking about how he worked on episode 1, the Jar Jar movie, back when he was working at the studios at Leavesden in England. And he got to know Rick McCallum, the producer of the Star Wars movies. And the guy, he was basically saying, yeah, he told me that, I'm not going to try the British accent. He basically said, if he's ever in the States, to come by and he would give him a tour. And I was kind of like, oh, I don't know exactly where it is, but Lucasfilm is around here somewhere, isn't it? Because I knew they were in Marin County. He was like, oh yeah, they're really close, but I don't have a car. And then he said, would you like to go? Could you give me a ride? And I'm sitting there like, are you freaking kidding? Yes. Oh my God. You know, I think I'm losing my light. Hang on a second. Maybe it's a little better. And I was like, yes, by all means, please. I would drive you anywhere. Let's go to Lucasfilm. So yeah, we hopped in the car, and this was on my birthday. This is my 30th birthday. We get in the car and we drive, and it's on Lucas Road, if you can believe it. Skywalker Ranch is on Lucas Road, and apparently Lucas Road existed before George Lucas put it together out there. But we go down Lucas Road, and we get to this gate, and it was completely nondescript. There was not R2-D2 on the gate or anything like that. It was just a gate like you would go into down any country road off of a paved highway, and there was a little gate code there. And I pulled up, and I guess he either had it or he knew who to call. Anyway, but we entered the code, the gates open, and we drive in, and you can't see anything. If you're not familiar with the Marin Highlands, it's very hilly and lots of round. It's very hilly anyway. It's beautiful, but very hilly. And so as you pull in, you can't really see anything, and then you kind of drive up and you go over this hill, and as you come over the hill, there it is. And it's not a whole lot to see really. There's the main house, which is kind of this old plantation style house. And then there was a few different buildings, but not a lot of parking, like just some roads that kind of went between them. So we go there to the house, and this person, I don't know if she was an intern or a marketing person or what, but she walked us around, and we got the grand tour of Skywalker Ranch. We got to go to Skywalker Sound and check out their sound studios, which, I mean, to say it's amazing is ridiculous. Yeah, of course it was amazing. It was the most wonderful thing in the world. And I asked at one point, I was like, so where's everybody park? Because there were no parking lots there. It was all underground. It was literally built from day one to be the most amazing place in the world to work. That was the whole idea. And they actually didn't pay very much. That's what I found out. The people who worked there really didn't make much money, especially considering they're working for like $1 billion, juggernaut. But the thing is, like, you get to say you worked on Star Wars. You get to say you worked for Lucasfilm, and you get to work in like the greatest place in the world to work. So that's what you get. That's how you get paid there. They actually had a farm right there on the ranch where they raised, all their veggies and stuff like that. The food in the cafeteria was food grown right there on their farm, like literally farm to table right there in one place. It was amazing. It was really cool. And of course, for me to actually be there on my birthday, it was just like, you got to be kidding me. And so we were wrapping things up. We go in, and they're giving us some little tchotchkes and stuff. I've still got a pin around here somewhere. It's somewhere, but I've got a pin, a Skywalker Ranch pin. Anyway, so we're in there, and they're giving us some things, and it's kind of like, hey, thanks a lot and all that. and we're at the main house. And at one point I turn around, there's a fireplace, and there's Christmas cards along the fireplace. So this was in March, so it wasn't too far after the holidays. And I go and start, I couldn't help myself. I go and start looking through the cards, and there was a card from Spielberg. There was a card from Francis Ford Coppola. I think I saw one from James Cameron, just lined up along this thing. And I was like, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. This is so, like, I still can't believe I didn't steal one, because they were just there. But it was amazing. Like George Lucas's Christmas cards from Steven Spielberg. I'm holding it in my hand. It was just amazing. So the best part, and this is my life, by the way. This is the story of my friggin' life. We were about to leave, and I was like, hey, do you have a restroom I can use? Because it was going to be a little bit of a drive back. So I hopped into the restroom, and I'm sure it was brass, but it looked gold. It was more like Donald Trump's bathroom. It was just like shiny gold brass, everything just perfect. And I was just kind of marveling at how, like, God, you gotta be kidding me. It's like, this is literally what you do when you have several movies that have made $1 billion. Like, you literally, you're just pissing gold. You have no idea what to do with all this money. You put it in the bathroom. It probably wasn't gold. I'm sure it was brass, but it was impressive is what I'm saying. So I was in there and I'm doing my thing. And I come walking back out, and the guy that I was with is literally just standing there like that. And I'm like, dude, what's going on? Apparently while I was in there, George Lucas walked by, like just walked by and said hello to him and kept walking. And I was like, shut the F up. No, don't do this to me. He was like, no, I'm serious. The guy walked right by here. He just said hello. And I was like, what? And yeah, seriously, story of my life. I'm 5 feet away from George Lucas, and I'm standing there with my pecker in my hand, peeing while he walks by, and I don't even see him. Story of my life. But anyway, it was an amazing day, and definitely stands out right up there in top days that I've had. But that was all just a story about a film festival that I went to, which is all going back to the fact that I'm a filmmaker and that's something that I do. Making that film got me a lot of writing work, which I was able to do for a while. And I still get writing work every once in a while, screenwriting work. I think I've done maybe like a dozen or so. For a while there, I was getting 2 or 3 a year. It's slowed down a little bit lately, but that's something that I enjoy. It's just not very frequent. There's a lot of projects I worked on that I didn't get a credit for, but I got paid. Good to get paid, but honestly, it's better to get the credit, because you go to my IMDb page, there's a few things there, but there's a lot more that I've worked on that are just not on there. Having said that, that's kind of a not so hidden secret of Hollywood. A lot of screenwriters actually and directors work on projects that you would never know they worked on, because screenplays in Hollywood go through a lot of people. Anyway, but so now I have a few projects going on. I've got the YouTube channel, which I'm so glad you guys are a part of. I've got a viral video blog that every once in a while these videos show up on. But if you haven't heard of it, I encourage you to go check it out. Follow it on Facebook. It's called The Daily Epic, thedailyepic.com. The Daily Epic on Facebook. You can go there. And the other thing I've got going on, and it's very in the early stages, but it's and I did the video about it, so you probably saw it, but it's about the canker sore thing, cankerboy.com. That's just getting off the ground. I have 6 customers right now. It's a subscription service, so hopefully those will be 6 recurring customers every month. And of all the things I'm working on right now, I have to say that one has the potential to be the most rewarding, because anybody who gets chronic canker sores on a more monthly basis or so, you know how much those things suck, and how it's just, a lot of people call it a curse. I've heard many people call it that. They just call it's my curse, because it's just something that never seems to go away, and nobody ever seems to have an answer for it. And I'm putting this out there, and I'm trying. I have a mock-up here. This is what the bottle is going to look like. when it gets done. Actually, it's a little bit, this is an earlier design, but this is basically what the bottle is going to look like. So I'm going to be shipping these out to people. This is actually a 2-month supply. Eventually, I'm going to get it down to a 1-month supply, but the original, it's a long story, but the original manufacturing of it, in order to get the price down to what I needed, they had to do 60 count bottles instead of 30. It's a daily supplement. So what will eventually be 30 count bottles that I'm sending out right now is this 60 count bottle. So it's kind of big. But it's a daily supplement you take and makes your canker sores go away. I figured it all out myself over the years and through some research that I've done. And I really hope it helps a lot of people. And I hope it becomes successful so that I can let that be my job. That and doing this and doing the Daily Epic and making movies instead of going and working 8 hours a day at a cubicle doing copywriting, which is what I do right now. So if you have this problem or if you know anybody that has this problem, I mean, I'm going to be shilling this quite a bit, but it's cankerboy.com. Please check it out. I do get emails from people that, there was one that I saw the other day. It almost put a tear in my eye because she was just like, thank you so much for what you do. You're giving hope to people like me. It's hard to explain how shitty it is to get these things on a regular basis because sometimes you can barely eat. I've got one right now, and I stopped taking the stuff that I normally take because I want to get this stuff and start using it to make sure it works. But I was telling my wife the other day, she's really big into food, and I'm just not quite as much of a foodie as she is, or I don't get as excited about food as she does. And it kind of drives her crazy. She's like, why don't you get more excited? And I realized something the other day. I was like, well, because half the time when I'm eating, I'm in severe pain. Maybe that's why I'm not as into food, because yes, I like the taste of food as much as anybody, but that's also accompanied by a lot of pain. At least a third to half the time that I'm eating. And I've had some so bad that I couldn't talk. And everybody that I know that gets them like this has had at least one that's that bad. So when I get emails from people that say how thankful they are that I'm doing this, it really feels good because I don't get that a lot. You know, my wife is a teacher and she gets students all the time telling her how she changed their lives and stuff like that. And that's amazing. And I don't get that so much. I mean, I get nice comments from you guys, and it means a lot, but I don't ever get the kind of like, oh my God, you're giving me hope, like I do with the Canker Boy thing. So it's been really, it's rewarding already, and it's barely even gotten off the ground. These don't even exist yet. This is just a mock-up. I should be getting them in early August. But anyway, so those are the things I got going on right now, and I stay pretty busy. But I've been talking for a while now. It's 7:45 almost over here, and if anybody has a question, last chance, throw it out there, and I'll answer it right now. If not, then I'm going to go ahead and maybe wrap this puppy up, and I will just see you where you normally see me on the video. So I'm going to take a swig of water. If you got a question, hit me up. Wait, here's a good chance to use the, where is it? If you have a question, go right ahead. I don't know why I haven't been playing with these this whole time. Wrecked him, damn near killed him. Okay, gotta stop that now. So back to the Q&A thing. So any questions from anybody? Going once, going twice? All right, well, thank you for those of you who are here. I'm still not sure how many are there because I'm a total newbie at this. I just popped my Google Hangouts cherry, but thank you all for being a part of my channel. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for any questions that you have. Thank you for joining me today. I really mean it at the end of every episode when I say I love you guys, because I really do, and I hope you all love each other, and I hope you love your lives, and I hope you're having a great time. And I don't know how to end things. So great hangout. Kareem, thanks, dude. I look forward to seeing you again. And I wish, I don't think anybody here is from Dallas, but if you are, Kareem has a really cool thing going on. Is it next Friday? I think it's next Friday. or is it next Saturday? Anyway, he's screening his film, and he's talking about, it's not next Friday, it's this Friday, or this weekend. Screening his film and talking about it and really showing how he did what he did. And it sounds like an awesome event, but I'm going to be out of town. I would totally be there. I encourage anybody who's in Dallas to go check it out. But anyway, thank you all so much for everything. I hope that I am continuing to give you interesting stuff to talk about and think about. And let me hear from you. Any comment on any video you ask, I will respond in some way. I'm still not too big to do that, so take advantage of it while you can. But thank you guys. Hope you're doing well, and I'll catch you next time. Bye. Bye.